Well, Mother and Dad, first I'll Franny say no.
That ought to take 20 or 30 minutes.
Then I'll go east with her, and she'll show me New York. How about it?
That's a good even-Steven proposition. Mother, your daughter's a born bargainer.
All the way to New York? Oh, gosh, Mrs. Martin, you make it sound like the end of the world. Really, it's only a few hours away.
A few hours? Of course, Mother. You can fly coast to coast in only 8 hours.
Well, if it's all right with your family, friend, it's okay with me. How about you, Mother?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Oh, Mother and Daddy, you're the mostest. New York, here we come.
Not so fast, young lady. What about reservations?
Well, it so happens that
we've already reserved seats on TWA.
Real sure of yourself, weren't you? Okay, darling. I'll pick them up this afternoon. Well, after visiting with us a few days, the girls were off, bound for New York. They were walking on air even before they got on board. For Sally, this was the time of her young life. And for Frances, it was a treat to have Sally along. I remember the first time I took that trip by air, and I knew what it would mean to Sally. They told us all about it in postcards we received a couple of days later. All about the fun they were having, the thrill of being airborne by Constellation on a sky-high adventure over this great land of ours, wonderful sights to see way down below. The Grand Canyon, for instance, one of the 7 wonders of the world. I could easily imagine Sally's excitement at her first meal at 19,000 feet. And remembering the kind of food service, my guess is that both girls would have no trouble at all disposing of it. A really satisfying lunch, expertly prepared and tastefully served. After crossing the mountains, plains, and rivers of this great country, they were rewarded with a fine view of Manhattan and the metropolis of New York. Even Frances noted that although she'd seen it before, this towering city is always an inspiring sight from the air. Nowhere else are there so many buildings so tall and so closely packed together. Finally, they landed smoothly at Idlewild, the New York International Airport.
Kid sisters can be something of a nuisance, like being met at the airport. I'm Fran's brother Bill, a one-man reception committee. And there they are, fresh out of the clouds. A 3,000-mile hop, and both look as fresh as a daisy. The usual brother-sister bit with Fran, and a good close-up look at the girlfriend from the West. Very nice. Then the shortest month on record came to an end, and we all drove Sally to the airport for a flight back home.
TWA announces the departure of Flight 912, Paris, Rome, and Cairo. All aboard, please.
Dad told Sally she'd really have some explaining to do if she got on that plane by mistake. But Sally told Dad not to worry. She and Fran were already planning on that trip for next year. Frankly, I, for one, certainly hated to see Sally go. All of us had come to like her very much. And I think she was a little sorry to end her visit, too. While we watched Sally's plane taxi out from the terminal at International Airport, Fran was already planning her flight back to college. I got to thinking I might like to go west for a little while myself. Sally wrote us the very next day, telling how much she'd enjoyed being here with us, seeing New York for the first time. She told how she felt when she looked down on the Statue of Liberty as she flew west over lower Manhattan in the harbor. That was her last glimpse of the magnificent skyline of Manhattan. And as far as Sally was concerned, one of the real exciting wonders of the world. Back and thought again of the many wonderful things she'd seen. Brooklyn Bridge, cloud-piercing skyscrapers, the soaring towers of Rockefeller Center, the impressive United Nations building, the millions of glittering lights of Times Square. And Sally knew she'd be back again soon on another flight to the fabulous skyline of New York.